I feel like we're slightly disconnected from reality. A lot of people we're almost constantly semi-gaslit by the state of the economy, politics, everything as a nation. I always feel like we're never really true in being ourselves. We have to put a certain face on around people, whether you're on the train, catch someone, you put your feet up and some stranger seat, oh fuck, put my feet down because I'm a polite young man. I don't put my feet on train seats. There's no one there. Your fucking foot would be on the seat. So everywhere we go through life, we're putting these facades on, and it's just quite, I think for most people, exhausting. I think it's more about energy preservation than anything else. And I remember going from the corporate world into personal training. I'd wear a polo shirt, I would have an iPad, I would try and be professional, and I attracted the wrong people, and it was exhausting. It was only when I started swearing, put a black t-shirt on, didn't wear my uniform, would sit eating out my Tupperware at the side. So I'd be like, oh, 2 more reps, eat my lunch. When I started being myself, I started attracting people just like myself. And to me, that's just a much less exhausting way of doing things. And on social media, even if there were, there are potential, let's say there are buyers, supermarkets, whatever, potentially listing, and they're trying to gauge whether or not this founder is going to be right, blah, blah, blah. It would be so inappropriate for me to talk about snorting cocaine, doing MDMA, having unprotected sex with strangers or whatever. But I know out there somewhere, someone could potentially listen to that and go, fuck me, that's refreshing. He's going to get a meet in Sainsbury's, and not all of them would.
Sainsbury's bar's a sniffhead.
Yeah. They'll go, come to the Christmas party,
Yeah.
And while everyone's trying to go one way of being super professional, oh yes, our brand is the best. You should see our return on ad spend. Just coming out and just saying, look, anyway you send me in the UK, I'll give out cans for free. Don't give a shit how many millions of followers I've got. Send me to fucking Sunderland. Take me to Newcastle. Put me outside of Greggs with a backpack. I'll do it. Because that honesty people aren't really real with. Some people and founders of drinks, because you have to get to almost a certain amount of clout to be in a position to create your own brand a lot of the time, especially in the creator market, whatever. It just so happens to be at the point that people's ego takes over. And I think that's such a shame for so many people. But
when you say ego takes over,
so have you read Ego is the Enemy by Ryan Holiday?
Yeah. I've actually got a question about that. Yeah.
So exactly the point that when you start doing well, you start telling yourself a story about why things have gone well. And you can tell yourself a story. It's because of, your demeanor, your charisma, your ethos, your work ethic. But really it was the fact that you're a fucking psychopath for 3 years and got up at 4:30 and drank 15 cups of coffee a day. And you neglected most of the girls you dated, and that you barely saw your parents trying to build your business off the ground. If you believe your story, you stop doing the things that made you successful. But if you don't believe your story, you can keep doing the things that make you successful. And so many people that experience success and get to a certain point can sometimes lose connection of the person that got them there.
How is your ego your enemy?
It's interesting. My friends say to me that I'm the same person, but with just more money, and not a huge amount of money, by the way, a good amount, enough that I can bully my friends. I joke, and if my friend hasn't responded for a while, I'll send them £200 on Monzo. I just call them a prick.
Jokes.
But then I'll often get it sent back. But it's the fact I'm doing it. Or I love doing a thing where, say I'm with friends I haven't seen for a while, I pretend that I've lost touch of reality. I'd be like, oh, that dinner was only £300. I can't believe how cheap that was.
Yeah.
And they're like, are you fucking kidding me? I would honestly say I'm still the same person, but I quite like the fact that earning better has changed me, because it's not in a bad way. It is in the sense I'm more playful, I'm more fun, I like getting dinners. But as far as ego, I would say it's probably the only bad thing that I get really annoyed that the things that used to be big to me aren't anymore. I flew business class somewhere not too long ago, and I got off the plane and I was like, you fucking prick. You were nearly crying the first time you flew business because it was such a big feat to you. I had 6 glasses of red wine, and I had a moment where I was like, this is amazing. You should be proud of yourself. I was like tearing up on a plane. I flew first class, didn't even have a glass of champagne. I was like, you're a prick. I would say my ego has become an issue only where I lose gratuity of the things that used to be massive to me. First time I wasn't in an overdraft was amazing. But then you take a dividend and you won't feel anything. So for me now, it's just trying to remind myself what 25-year-old James would have done with that thing. 25-year-old James would have seen that business class and been like, oh my God, he would have looked at the dividend you just took from the business, and that would have been life-changing. The only time my ego kind of really pisses me off at the moment is this kind of lack of emotion towards what were once great achievements. And I think that's part of my motivational mechanisms. But I beat myself up about it. I actually said to my business partner a few months ago, we took a dividend from the business. And I said to my missus, I go, this is really annoying. That's a good amount of money and I feel nothing. And I messaged my manager, I messaged Luke, I go, look, I'm only 35. I shouldn't be feeling numb to this amount of money. 10 years ago, I would have been fucking ecstatic. I would have gone to this bar. I would have said, everyone's having a fucking drink. Come on. I know. Who knows a dealer? No, I'm joking. And I would have just had so much fun with it. So then I said to my business partner, he goes, do you know what? We're going to take 10% of this dividend. We're going to go to a bar in Sydney. We're going to put our card behind the bar and we're just going to get shit-faced. And anyone we bump into, some lad from TikTok was like, I follow your stuff. I'm like, get a drink. Are these your mates? Get them a drink. Cards behind the bar. I was like, how old are you boys? 19. I was like, get them all a drink. You're probably poor at 19. I was. And we had the best time on 10% of it. So for me, it's still having fun, still enjoying the little things.
So fun almost dissipates the
ego. The ego thing that annoys me is what has become normal. And I never want to lose track of that. Like, I never want to, there are little things. You buy dinner and not even think about it. And then I leave the restaurant. I go, mate, you didn't earn that in a week when you were younger. And then you just tap because you can't be bothered for people to split the bill.
Espressos is sponsored by supply chain software gurus Unleashed. It talks your e-com and accounting software. It's helped islands cut admin time in half, get granular clarity on your margins, know where your stock is, don't miss availability. Brands like Candy Kittens, Tiny Rebel, and Trip all use Unleashed, and so should you.